Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. On Fridays, we talk about the product owner role in Scrum. We talk about patterns and anti-patterns that relate to ours and the team's collaboration with the product owner. And we've also put together a course to help you navigate that relationship. There's 18 modules, nearly 8 hours of tools, techniques, videos, handouts, presentations you can use to help you and your team work better with your product owner. The course is available at bit.ly/coachyourPO. All lowercase, all one word. That's bit.ly/coachyourPO. And now, on to the show, the Product Owner Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our TGIF, the Friday and Product Owner episode this week with Madhuri Korapati. Hi, Madhuri. Welcome back.
Thank you, Vasco.
So, Madhuri, on Fridays, we talk product owner because, of course, the relationship and the collaboration we develop as Scrum Masters with the product owner is extremely important. So, tell us a little bit more about some examples. We'll start with the bad example and then we'll go to the good example. But starting with the bad example, what might have been the worst product owner anti-pattern you've ever witnessed in your career?
Okay, so one of the worst one I faced, it is a PO behaving like a manager, because there is always that fine gap between a Scrum Master and a manager and a product owner and a manager. So product owner have obviously more power because they own the product. They are responsible. So if they miss that fine line in between, without realizing themselves itself, it move into that level and then they start dictating, that becoming like a manager. So the product owner, they need to provide team with the user stories and then working with the team to come up with an acceptance criteria and provide the priority. And at the beginning, it all went well in one of the product I was working on. And after that, I started observing this in the planning meetings. Product owners started forcing teams to pick more and more work and started dictating who need to do what. It's like giving the sprint goal is very good. And then teams need to come up and then say, yes, it is achievable or not achievable. What can be done and what is the priority? Work with the teams and then come up. And especially the worst part, talking about who need to do what is something not should be done by either a Scrum Master or a product owner.
So the PO was basically telling people what they should be doing individually.
Yeah, individually. So yeah, it's like we always can push them or like recommend them based on the experiences we had and then say like this may help you good if you work in this way, one that way, but we should enforce. We should let teams decide so that they learn from one another and then deliver. And we need to support in this way, but it's like it's that push is coming up. And again, like in the it's like more and more work coming in the middle of the sprint as well. And the technical suggestions you get from the teams, you shouldn't ignore that at all, because yeah, in a short term it might be okay, but in the long term it costs you a lot. It's a big loss in the long term. But those will be ignored as well. So I observed in 2 or 3 meetings this was constantly happening. It never happened before, but it started. So I have written down what it is, and then I done some homework for me to understand, and then write down what are the impacts it should be. And then I had a one-to-one with the product owner, and then explained like this is what happening. I observed these are the things, and because of this, team lose the motivation, and the quality of the work will be affected if you push too much. And the quality might not be right. And then maybe we need to do some of the rework. Then I realized that it's happening because she's getting so much of push from the higher management because we need to deliver something to the customer. So rather than working on it, she is not sure like how to work on it. Rather than that, she is pushing the team. Now, then we both discussed about it and come up with a plan. So we said like, hey, let's go to the team and then see like what is the minimum viable product we can come up with. within the time, and then we will show it to the higher management and explain this is what we can deliver, so that the customer can get benefit as well, although we can't deliver everything. And we can say like, okay, we'll create the metrics. We have already the metrics which we are using to improve ourselves. We'll create the metrics which will help higher management as well to see continuous progress. I know they can't come to the reviews frequently. They might by time constraint, but we can send a high level dashboard to give them this. So in that way, we started working together and worked with the teams, which helped to change the behavior.
This story also highlights that sometimes product owners want to do good things, even though when they are doing the wrong things, right? Like in this case, it was about feeling the pressure and wanting to show progress to higher management, and therefore thinking that, if I just push the team and tell them what to do, they'll do it, and then we'll all look good. But of course, as you were explaining, this has consequences, and it can lead to trouble. So coming back to the team and actually being transparent about, hey, look, guys, I'm under pressure, right? Like the PO saying to the team, I'm under pressure. Here's the pressure I have. How can you help me? And I think that's a great place where Scrum Master can come in and help facilitate that discussion by having first that one-on-one, as you said, right? Like, explain what's going on with the PO one-on-one, then come together with a message to the team, like, this is what's going on. This is what we're having trouble with. And then the team can help. They can help defining the MVP. They can help defining how we can show progress to the upper management. And I think that's a great example of how important this chemistry is between product owner and Scrum Master, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So we now turn our attention, though, Madhuri, to the opposite, the mirror image, the great example of a great product owner. So please share with us what might have been the best product owner you've ever worked with.
Yeah, truly speaking, I'm lucky. I worked with many good product owners, and they always share the vision of the product, mainly roadmaps with the team. So this is one of the very important thing for a team, because having that bigger picture always help the team to focus, because they know what's coming up next and what is the big roadmap, what are they part of. Because some of the teams, they work on that individual component or individual area. Sometimes they don't need like what is the value of that product, or what is the bigger roadmap of that product, what's going to be next for them. So very good product owners we have, they share their vision of the product. Okay, this is for the high level in the next 3 years, but for this year, this is the roadmap. So this is our plan to work, and we all need to work together to reach that level. So that gives like big motivation to the team. It may take an hour to explain them, but that hour worth whole team members a lot, because that's a big motivation for them. It's one of the good quality as a product owner. And the others, like understanding, again, I did say like long-term picture, which will help not only motivating the team, and again, like it helps the teams to build the skills. There might be some work coming up, they might not have the skills. So as part of a learning process, they start building those skills to make that product successful. So it helps to deliver actually quicker if we know the roadmap and the vision from the product owner, so that we prepare for it. So as a good product owner, if they visualize that one, that helps them future, and then to deliver quickly, they always share that vision as earlier as they can. And again, like a good product owners, we see like many backlogs which are not like prioritized. You see like hundreds and hundreds of them, and some of them no descriptions at all. You don't even know like what it is. You end up deleting everything at one point. But I have seen very good product owners where they maintain the backlog. Sometimes they can't do all by themselves, because some of them, they might not have knowledge. So they work with the Scrum Masters and go through the continuously the backlog, and then see like what's still needed, what's not needed. If needed, like involve the team members, and then update the backlog, and then maintain it, and then keep prioritizing. Again, like working with the clients, and then the customers, and then the higher management, and then continuously update the backlog. Sometimes in a team, they might be working on like different areas of the work. Although we don't want to have like multiple projects, but in some real cases, it happen in a single product. You work on like multiple work streams. In that one, the priority, you might have like different product owners in that case. So all those product owners working together, understanding a bigger picture and understanding the priority of all those works and prioritizing all those works together rather than individually prioritizing it. A good product owner always work with the others and then make like one big list of high priority items so that team can focus on rather than confusing, okay, which product I need to work, which work stream I need to pick first.
That's a great example of one thing that I wanted to dive a little bit more into when you talked about vision, which is clarifying the message, right? So one of the things you talked about is, when there are many product owners, maybe even many backlogs, then how do we get a clear message for the teams to know what they need to work on and what those things mean? And for me, kind of one of the connecting threads in these examples you shared is this ability to be clear, this ability to clarify for the team what needs to be done. And I want to go a little bit back and explore that ability to create clarity more from the perspective of the vision. You talked about how important it is to have the vision, how important it is to allow the team to understand the context of their work, right? Like the long term and the short term, and why the long term is there and why we are focusing on these particular things in the short term. But I want to explore a little bit more about this vision communication. How do great product owners that you've worked with, Madhuri, communicate the vision? Like, what are the key things that they bring in when they communicate with the team about the vision?
One of the things I observed, which I felt like more effective when they come up with their vision, first they come up with their, obviously the goal, and then what is the outcome. But the important thing they talk about, it's like, this is our vision to be here. And the main, because of this, the revenue is going to be this much. And that our whole company will grow by this much if we deliver this and this. And because of this, and why they reached that vision, what is the reason behind that vision. So that actually helps because teams feel, okay, we will be part of like delivering this much and then generating this much of revenue to the company. So that's actually a kind of a strong thing that build in the teams. Sometimes you link with it. So I feel personally, it's like reason behind why they come up with that vision or why they come up with this roadmap is important. And some of the product owners, they come up with all that information, why they came up. So they kind of spend the time, explain about, yes, we had a discussion with the customers. This is what they want. Because of it, the customer will benefit all of this, like so many things. And because of that, the revenue for our company is this and this. And in the future, because of this delivery, we get more customers. So this is our future pipeline. So giving that kind of a context behind the vision will help.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely, I can easily imagine how that helps the motivation of the team as well to understand the impact of their work.
Yes.
Madhuri, this has been great spending a week with you and learning more about the stories and the experiences that you've gone through. But unfortunately, we're getting close to the end. However, before we do go, share with us, where can we find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
You can find me in LinkedIn. If you put Madhuri Korapati, you can see me. And yeah, that's mainly it. And the other thing, I attend many of the Agile conferences, and we have a Agile group as well, which is called Beds, Bugs and Head Agile Community. We used to run monthly catch-ups before. Because of the COVID, we stopped, but we are planning to restart again. So that's mainly me.
All right, absolutely. We'll put the link in the show notes for people to find both Madhuri and as well as the Agile community she was just talking about. Madhuri, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you for inviting me.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. Join us at scrummastertoolbox.com/podcast and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more week full of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.